back, everybody. Broadcasting live from Saldanha Bay. Lots of action happening here on this preview to World Fisheries Day, which is tomorrow. But at this point, we're actually standing on a patrol vessel, and I'm hooking my leg into here because me and my, what do they call them? Your sea legs. I haven't found them yet, and this this vessel is going from the side to side, and it's not so great. So I'm going to try and not fall over while I'm doing it. But at the same time, we've actually got one of the let's call it Captain. Let me introduce my guests because they can help me talk a little bit here. I've got our captain here of this particular vessel. This is Neil Lewis. Good to have you, Captain. Thank you so much for being with us.
Okay, good morning. That is our chase boat which fisheries inspectors use to do their work, boarding vessels and apprehending poaching along our coastline.
Excellent.
So the vessel itself is used as a base station, and we operate with a boat most of the time. Fantastic. With the inspectors in the water.
So this is the Victoria Mxenge. This is the patrol vessel that you are the captain of. So we're going to talk to you in that capacity in a short while. But also joining us here is on the program to talk a bit about this is Fatima Savel, is the Director of Compliance, Monitoring, Control and Surveillance at the department. Good to have you here with us as well.
Good morning.
Good. All right, so I know we made the guys stop. So should we make them continue lowering the vessel into the sea, and then you can talk us through exactly what it is and why you have something like that.
Okay, we'll do. I'll just give a second indication. Okay. Yeah, the boat is used by the fisheries inspectors which we carry. We normally carry 4 inspectors. They are law enforcement officers. They are in the process of launching it now. If we do have complaints, we launch the boat, and they go to the area which is like indicated by the shore-based people.
Yeah. When you talk about complaints, what are we dealing with? I mean, what are the type of things that you deal with?
It's a various public that phones the various departments. Each harbour has got a coast station, and they have an office there. People normally phone them with complaints, and then we respond if we're in the area. Yeah. The other boats we are strategically positioned along our coastline, so we're never all together in one place. Okay. For example, our trip is on the west coast. There'll be somebody on the east coast, So, yeah. But the boat is our primary means.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk about some of the work that the department does when it comes to anti-poaching, because it's actually bigger than just anti-poaching.
It is, certainly. We've got, before I go into that, I just want to talk about our mandate, which is the Marine Living Resources Act, whereby we ensure that we do land-based and sea-based patrols, not only just to address poaching, but also to inspect vessels and also to inspect landing sites. But with regards to the poaching, because it is such an international activity, we're not only dealing with fisheries crime, but it's often linked to international crimes such as drug smuggling, human trafficking and such. So it's very important that we forge international multilateral agreements with other countries so that we can close the net on poaching and ensure that we bring the perpetrators to book.
Yeah. How bad is the situation when it comes to poaching in South Africa?
It is quite rife. In the last 6 months, we've had 50 tons of abalone confiscated, 70 arrests, and we've got ongoing investigations. And with those investigations, as soon as those investigations are concluded, we are hoping to have more arrests because of the international activities that is also connected to the poaching activities.
How many vessels do we have like this? I mean, this is obviously the one that you're captaining.
There are 3 identical ones. This is a Victoria Mxenge, and then we have the Lilian and Ngoyi, and then the third one is a Ruth, the larger one which you've been on, which is a Sarah Bartman.
Yes.
Yeah, we tend to try and cover as much as we can.
Yeah, it's wonderful. All named after anti-apartheid activists and all females, and it's always a special thing. But I mean, these vessels are obviously exceptionally busy patrolling. They go out as far as where do they go to? I mean, do we ever help neighbouring countries, or is it really just protecting our borders?
The smaller ones we do mostly coastal South African coast, and the Sarah Bartman might do friendship visits next to our neighbouring countries. So we mostly from the Orange River right around to Mozambique. That's our area of operation.
In terms of law enforcement, now obviously you need to have partnerships with other agencies as well. How does the department work?
You will recall we had the Operation Pakisa that was launched in 2015, which was a presidential initiative. And during 2015, we had a number of ministers from other law enforcement agencies who also operate in the ocean economy. Your SAPS, SARS, Home Affairs, Hawks, the Navy, Defence Force, all of those ministers signed an agreement, a statement of an intent to work together in a coordinated and integrated manner. And for the last year and a bit, we've had a number of joint operations through Operation Pakisa, and we've had a number of successes. Because we've got a joint enforcement, because we've got different mandates also working together, we can address at the same time all these other issues besides the fisheries crime, which makes it fantastic, because now we're really closing in on the perpetrators. And you can definitely see that there is a difference during the time that we are operating together as Operation Pakisa, that there is little or no poaching activities taking place.
Which is important, because there was actually a time when these vessels were not even in use. When was that? How long ago was that? And what was standing in the way?
That was about 5 years ago, when we were in a transition period to get an operation a management system going to get the vessels back on track. But because we also have these agreements and we have these partnerships, we don't only have to use our vessels, we can also use the vessels of our partners to do the anti-poaching activities.
Yeah. Lovely. So just finally, Captain, if people are watching this and they would love to become crew and get training to be on these vessels or anything like that, how did they go about doing that?
Various centres in Cape Town that offer training, University of Technology, Cape University of Technology, and in Durban. And you have a smaller centres training like more for the fishing industry. But our crewmen also does their training there, but the officers mostly go to the higher centres of learning to work on the bigger ships.
Well, if that's what you're interested in, then you've got a little bit of a tip of how to get involved in this. But thank you so much for talking to us here, and keep up the great work, because it really is. It's a big problem. These organised crime units that, particularly when it comes to abalone and lobster, I think these are the most and high value and in demand, and you need to step down that. Would you say you're almost on a daily basis catching people?
Absolutely. On the weekend, we were just on a normal patrol out in the Kleinmond-Gansbaai area, and the officials were not even doing an operation when they were thrown with stones, and they actually had to be hospitalized because of the activities, because this is the type of gangsters and gang activities that we also have around poaching activities.
Yeah. All right. Well, Fatima, thank you for talking to us. Captain, thank you very, very much. With all due respect, I cannot wait to get off of her. I am struggling here just to try and stay balanced, so I won't let that seasickness get in. And it's embarrassing when you get seasick and you are not even moving. That's the worst thing to happen. Anyway, that's where we'll leave this interview for now, but we have got a lot more for you, including some of those magic aquaculture products there that are being farmed here in South Africa, in these seas. They're absolutely beautiful. The oysters, the salmon. So stay tuned for all of that, as well as a lot more on this program. But right now, let's get you some sport news. It's been a very, very busy